in an area not designated as residential, but as parks and gardens, and in the absence of any approval of change of user for the land, or even as we are told, building approval, proceeded to visit the locus incu. Lawyers will understand the meaning of locus incu, which is just the venue, the location, with his entourage in the exercise of his powers vested in him by Section 11 of the Land Use Act and other sections of the law, only to be obstructed by one Navy lieutenant who claimed that he was acting on orders from his superior officer, who is being speculated is a retired chief of naval staff. From available video evidence, a standoff or shouting match and demands for the standoff or shouting match took place where the minister, out of exasperation, deployed expletives, which some commentators contend were excessive for such an occasion. Flowing from the foregoing, the Nigerian media state has been inundated, went and gone, with shouts and demands for the head of the honorable minister, who should, in my view, be commended instead of being vilified. Please find here below my reasons for this position. The junior military officer who boastfully obstructed a federal minister in the course of performing his duties was trained and commissioned into the Nigerian military with taxpayers' money. His first duty and allegiance is to the government and people of Nigeria. The minister represents the government and people of Nigeria in the discharge of his duties. Pray Nigerians and answer truthfully. Who was the said uniformed officer represented? By his own ipsi-dixit, which means self-declaration, on trending internet videos, he admitted, that is, he claimed, that he was acting on superior orders. Upon further investigation, it turned out that he was acting as a security man over the premises being claimed by a retired military officer as his own. He was not on a bona fide legitimate military duty. If these facts are correct, it is then clear that his presence on the land was illegal. It would have been otherwise, though still not justified, if the property was military property. And he was acting under bona fide the orders of the military HLM to secure their property for security reasons. But till date, the military have not claimed the property as their own, which would have warranted a legitimate standoff. Then all and sundry would have packed themselves off to the commander-in-chief for the matter to be settled internally. However, the property, being civilian-owned property, not military zone, was effectively within Minister Wike's undoubted jurisdiction to deal with. It was therefore clear that the said junior officer clearly obstructed a high official of the federal government from discharging his lawful duties. If the matter had been left at that, the following observations would not have been necessary. Firstly, the entire military hierarchy, retired and serving, ranged their support on the side of the young officer. This is not surprising, given the penchant of the Nigerian military to be intolerant with or to the civilian population. It is only in Nigeria that a simple altercation between a military personnel and a civilian or staff of other security outfits like the police, that the military will unleash joyful justice on the hapless civilians. Examples abound. I'm not just maligning. Remember the 1978 Calcutta Republic military overdog incidents, the sacking of General Malu's village in Benue State, and this recent sacking of the whole village in Delta State on account of the killing of military officers by some unknown gunmen. There is a long list of such overbearing, intolerant incidents. The reason for pointing to this disposition of the military is not to denigrate that institution. I have a high respect for them. it is to underscore a peculiar anomaly in the taking of laws into their hands whenever they are irritated by actions of third parties who are not one of them. This undue advantage and predisposition to civilian molestation is because the generality of the people are not allowed to bear arms. A converse situation will provide mutual deterrence. The consequences of this imbroglio is the spewing out of an unleashing of raw and undiluted hate against Minister Wike. Those who are taking advantage and cashing in on the situation include: 1, the Association of Retired Military Officers, particularly generals; 2, politicians who think that the ministerial portfolio of the FCT belongs to only one section of this country; 3, politicians who are in the same political party with him but disagree fundamentally on zoning policies of his party, the PDP, and the consequences of not adhering to same; and 4, Nigerians, and there are plenty of them if you look at the internet, who dislike his guts and are envious of his achievements in every office that he has occupied, including his proactive and wonderful tour of service in the FCT. This is not the first time that people who mean well for the nation and are working hard to prove their mettle are hated, and it will not be the last time.